Alright, this is a standard graphics card, kind of like yours. You've got the power cord plugged in here, which on yours looks like this. If you see to the back here, there is a long strip. The graphics card has a little, looks like a gold chip that kind of sticks out, plugs into the motherboard here, but that's what's gonna be plugged into your riser here. That's about that length. It is attached to the side through the bracket. You can't see it on this one, but there's a metal bracket that comes out here. It's under this piece that you screw it into. So that's really it. Graphics card, you have the power, you have the data coming from the riser part, and then you have where it attaches. Alright, so these are your pieces. This is a standard riser. This is what's going to go back behind here where the graphics card plugs in, similar to that. The riser is connected by a USB cord from that to this chip, which is what goes in the motherboard. If you can see, there's a little spot where I would be able to plug this in here. But that's how your graphics card will communicate to the motherboard. So it'll plug in here. This little latch is a lock. So what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to reach, when you have your graphics card here, you're gonna have to reach your hand back here and look for that latch. You're gonna hit this latch open. Make sure that's open. You can actually use two hands. One hand up here, one hand down here until you find it. Flick it open, and then you should be able to, after you unscrew the bracket so it's not attached to the case, you make sure that the riser is unlocked, and then you can pull the graphics card off. So the riser has, like I said, the USB, which is the data information going from the graphics card to the motherboard, and then the riser itself needs power. The riser itself is going to be powered by a cord looking like this. This is a SATA cord, or a cord looking like this. This is a Molex. Molex has these 4 pins. SATA has it's a little plug like this. You can see how this side of the plug has a little notch telling you which way the plug can go in. I forget which one yours has, but it has one of these to power this. That's the data that goes to the motherboard, and then the card just plugs into here. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to take what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have this device. Let's say that one of these is plugged into here, right? So you're gonna come over to your graphics card. You're going to reach back here, unflick this, unlocking the graphics card. Then you're gonna unscrew the card by the bracket, hold it like this. First of all, you're gonna pull these out. You're gonna take these power cords out. There's a latch under here. You squeeze, pull them both out so that it's not connected. Hold on to this after it's unscrewed, and then you'll be able to get it off. And the best way to do that is to use your finger and kind of, preferably on both sides, if you can kind of go one hand like this, the other hand like this in between the graphics cards. So you're like that and like that. Just push on the riser piece with with this thumb, this finger, and then this finger on the other side. So it's sorry, I got to hold my phone here, but if you can imagine, one finger's pressing like that, the other finger's on top pressing this side of the board. So you're really pressing right here. You should be able to wiggle that off. Then what you're going to do, you pull the graphics card out, and it'll be a lot easier to work with. You're going to have to try switching one of these cables, or really just, you're going to switch this out. So you're going to have to unplug the power, you have to unplug the data, and then you're going to switch the riser out. You might want to also switch this out. The actual cable itself for the power, you won't have to change that. You'll just have to replug it back in. And then once this is being powered by this and is connected to that, which is connected to the motherboard here, then what you're going to do is you're going to snake this onto your graphics card by, you're going to have it, you're going to hold it, you're going to get it in there with one hand, and with the other hand what you can do is you can have this, and you can do it to where you slowly press and wiggle this onto the card. It's not going to be too hard to press on, but you might have to wiggle it back and forth. Once it's on the card, you can try to lock it. Honestly, you don't have to lock it. As long as it's plugged in, that should be good. So what you're going to want to do is probably, hold on. What you probably want to do is take all the graphics cards out. You're going to have your riser and all that just sitting there. Keep track of which one goes to which so you don't get confused, but just realize each card has its own set of riser, power, and data. And then you can swap these out, you can swap these out. You could swap these out too, but maybe just start with the risers on the bad cards. And do one by you can do one by one as you take all the graphics cards out. Put your top or your number one graphics card slot, which in the motherboard should be the big socket for this guy. Start with that, get that running, then add a second one, get that one running, add a third one, get that running, and then finally the fourth one. The best way to do it for your rig, because you got one on top, middle, and bottom. I think maybe the one on top is the hardest. So what you might want to do is get the two in the middle first, then the one on the bottom. Like maybe when you put them back in, start with the top one here, start with the bottom one here. Really just gonna have to use some, your intuition. What makes the most sense, and it might be a little give and take. You have to maybe do it a couple times, but this is really the piece that's probably bad. This piece could also be bad. So just if you want, before you start pulling stuff out, you could just take it off and put it back on and test the connection. Maybe replace this piece and see if you can get the card to mine. If you can get that card to mine, then nothing is wrong. It might just be a bad plug connection. So maybe the first thing you do is just unplug this stuff here. Just unplug the graphics card and plug it back in and see if that works.